conference committee on SB 1183 for Friday, 10:30 is ready to convene. The Senate conferees myself as chair, co-chairs Nishihara and Tokuda, Dela Cruz member.
Oh, and for the House, it's myself, Chair Luke, and McDermott as a member.
Okay, thank you, members. Okay, the chair at this time recognizes WEM Chair Tokuda on behalf of the Senate. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, really? Is that one? One mic.
That's fine. I think one is okay. Thank you, Chair. I know there's been a number of drafts floated so far, but at this time, are there any drafts that the House would like to circulate as well?
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to thank the Senate for the CD that we received on Wednesday, the 10-year, that the House cannot accept at this time. We also want to thank the Senate for their 7-year draft, the 7-year draft that you provided yesterday. So thank you. Thank you for that. But the House would like to provide a proposed conference draft at this time. So I'd like to just go over briefly what they are. Okay.
Do you have copies made? No?
Perhaps details would be good if you wanted to
Yeah, we're just
summarize.
going to highlight at this time.
That's fine.
Chair, and then I think we'll provide the copies at shortly thereafter. Okay?
Okay, proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, so first, we're going to remove the House proposed 2-year GET extension. Okay?
So no GET extension, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank
So
you
no
very
extension
much.
at this time.
Okay.
Okay? We're going to maintain the House's position to lower the state's share, okay, of 1%. Okay?
So this is the skim.
Yes.
So just 1% of the skim retained.
So the 1% will remain. Yeah. Okay, we're going to increase TAT by 2.75% from the current 9.25%. So it'll go to 12% for 10 years. Okay, from January 2018 to December 31st, 2027. Okay, and this will raise $1.3 billion. Okay, by 2027. Okay, so receiving $1.3 billion today, in today's dollars, being received upfront and concurrently with present GET surcharge is equivalent to receiving $2.4 billion in future GET revenues from 2027 to 2034, according to Budget and Finance projections, if we were to grant an additional 7-year extension as a CD that you proposed. Okay? So in effect, this House proposal will provide more funding for rail than any other proposal currently being considered by either chamber. Okay? Additionally, this CD will generate revenue from the 2.75 increases and will be distributed as follows. $50 million will be set aside annually for the 2.75% TAT increased collection into a newly created New Start Education Special Fund, or NSESF, from January 2018 to December 2027. The legislature will determine the use of this fund next session. Okay, the remainder of the money, the $1.3 billion, will be remitted to the rail project concurrently with the existing GET surcharge until 2027. Okay, this would also reduce the distribution of TAT funds to the counties from $93 million to 80 million. The difference of 13 million will be allocated as the county's contributions to funding rail. Okay, in addition, this would still allow neighbor island counties to adopt a surcharge, okay, on their respective counties. This would also still require Honolulu to repeal any ordinance prohibiting use of county funds for rail. And lastly, this would prohibit Honolulu, City and County of Honolulu, from overextending itself fiscally by using public funds to reconstruct or redevelop the Neil S. Blaisdell Center, which is expected to cost nearly $500 million. Okay. Did I miss anything? I believe those are the terms of the CD from the House.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Chair. Well, definitely this gives us a lot to think about, and I can tell you that as the Ways and Means Chair, I appreciate that you folks have really thought hard about this. I know that especially coming from my committee, I know that I put the Senate, probably yourself, in a very difficult position, towing a very hard line on no extension on the GET surcharge. And I think the House was extremely creative in looking for ways to really try to strike that balance and being fiscally prudent, but trying to look for resources. So I think we would like to look very seriously at this very unique and innovative approach at resources. I see Education Chair Woodson back there. This New Start Education Special Fund is something that would also provide some resources in that direction. As a former ed chair, I had to smile when I heard that as well. So if we can go ahead and maybe really take a good hard look at this approach, I think this is something that really warrants some attention right now. But again, I really want to thank you for seriously looking at this, and I think obviously is, I think, really something that we, perhaps a time we'd like to set.
If I could make comments.
Okay.
So we've been told time and time again that the tourists should pay for the rail, and that's what the mayor has continued to say, and that's why he continued to state that because GET is derived 1/3 from tourists, he insisted that tourists should pay. And perhaps he was giving us a hint subliminally, and that's why today we're ensuring that elderly and our working poor are not taxed anymore with this new proposal. That's why we're backtracking our our latest House draft, which extended the rail tax on GET to our most vulnerable population, and we want to ensure that we're not going to tax those individuals, but redirect the taxes completely in the additional amount to tourists. And that's why, we want to thank you folks for insisting that tourists and visitors pay for and have the burden of paying for this tax or for this rail. And because a lot of the support have come from the neighbor island residents, or a lot of the support of rail has come from neighbor island legislators, including the chair of transportation, we felt that because you folks have insisted, or you have insisted that this was a statewide concern, the TAT will be statewide. And because of that, we will be taking a portion out of the county share, because it's a burden that has to be shared by the entire state as opposed to the city and county of Honolulu. So we ask for your consideration and reconvene time, Chair.
Okay, so we're looking at this afternoon.
Okay, so what time would be good to you? I know we've got a number of different reconvenes. Chair, you and I will be taking up different measures at different times, so perhaps 1:30 would be
1:30.
good. Is this room available?
Okay, 1:30?
In this room?
Okay, 1:30.
Is that okay with
Is
you,
that okay?
Chair?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so 1:30, we'll be back in this room, members. Thank you.
You'll have some CDs.
You got a gavel.